got a lot of stones, it's really come along, you know. Adding it all up from some things you think you own but you don't. You gotta watch your back, cause they're coming for you. Maybe grow a beard or get some stick-on tattoos. Find another mirror, catch a glimpse of yourself. Another fine example of happiness and health. You can't change the world, cause you want to. And all the other lies that they sold you, delivered to your house. You don't have to leave the couch. You can't change the world, cause you want to. Find another cause, put your life on pause just to say all the things you think, cause you think it's gonna save the day. If that's not enough, yeah, we got guns, and all you motherfuckers better like it or run, cause you can't change the world, cause you want to. All the other lies that they sold you, delivered to your house. You don't have to leave the couch. You can change the world, cause you want to. Can't change the world, cause you want to. And all the other lies that they sold you, delivered to your house. You don't have to leave the couch. You can't change the world, cause you want to. Watch your back, cause they're coming for you. You gotta watch your back, cause they're coming for you. You gotta watch your back, cause they're coming for you. You gotta watch your back, cause they're coming for you.
Kelly, oh my God, that performance was surreal and beautiful. And I'll be honest with you, it was really tugging on my heartstrings in there. So I can't thank you enough for being here with us today. Like, truly.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. Before we dive in the interview, would you mind telling us a little bit about the songs you chose to perform today and the band you're part of?
I'm in the band called the Hope Trust, and I guess I am the primary songwriter and singer. And the songs that I played are, the first one is called New Media Strategy, and the second one is called Looking at You. Oof. But yeah, that first song is, I guess, maybe about, well, it was originally called The Ballad of 4chan Man.
Oh, man.
So it's like about a guy that sits on his couch and gets pissed off and purchases guns online and threatens people that are different from him.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And then I guess the second one's a little more optimistic. You know, this sort of idea that we're all kind of going through life together, but with your people, you know, life's a little bit better. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's beautifully put, my friend. My gosh, like I'm still kind of floored from that first tune. I just thought it was like, I can't even find proper words. Like it was so beautiful, and there was a poetry to it. Like it really just kind of resonated deeply with me. So thank you.
I appreciate it.
for
Thanks.
sharing
Yeah,
that. Yeah. One thing I love to ask my guest as we start to dive into the interview is really just start to understand your musical journey and help our viewers do the same. So one thing I wanted to dive into is I wanted to ask, when do you feel like music stopped being a hobby and maybe started being something you needed to do, something very real?
I remember being 7 years old and hearing that George Harrison song, I've Got My Mind Set on You.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember where I was when I heard it. And I remember that's when I fell in love with the notion of making music.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of had this sort of Beach Boys summer where my dad was away for a couple months for work. And my mom got me a drum set and my two brothers at the time, guitars. And so we got into playing music. And luckily, when I was really young, there were avenues for me to play music, particularly through church and stuff. That's kind of where I got my start. And my siblings both worked in the studio in Houston, near where we grew up. So pretty early on, I was kind of roped into the idea of creating stuff, you know, musically.
Yeah.
And though I've tried to do a lot of other things in life, I've somehow managed to make a living doing music related things. So yeah,
that's beautiful. That's absolutely the goal. Is we don't want to start off as an artist and necessarily stray away. We want art to always be kind of integrated into the world. So that's absolutely beautiful. What do you feel like when you had that realization? And how old were you, if you don't mind me asking?
Probably 12 when I started gigging with some regularity. And then, you know, I was a paid musician when I was 15 on.
Yeah.
We had a joke, God is everywhere, go where the money is.
Yeah.
So
it's very well said.
Yeah.
Well, you were referencing that George Harrison tune earlier, and you were talking about kind of the first time you heard it and maybe like the realization, maybe there was some sort of realization you had hearing it and then beginning to create and play music. And at 15, what do you feel like when you had that revelation as a young musician? What changed?
I think music is fun, and music made me feel fun feelings, and it lightened, you know, my mental space.
Yeah.
And I've always felt that connection to music. It's always sort of been a place to put emotion that could be constructively beautiful and not hurt other people, you know? So
absolutely.
yeah.
Do you feel like you still carry that feeling with you?
I do. I mean, I'm still in love with the process of creating music. And, you know, my band is not the most prolific, and I don't think that I'm the most prolific songwriter, but I always have that desire to create, and I still do create. And, you know, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, before you mentioned church bands and early like formative musical projects you had with your siblings. Before all of that, what role did music play in your life?
You know, we would, as a family, my dad played guitar a little bit and stuff, and we had a guitar in the house before we all got our own instruments. But my dad really made it a point to like sit the family down on Sundays, and we would put on a record that he thought we should hear.
Wow.
And so it's kind of this communal experience with it that was always present in my life. Yeah. I don't remember music not being important to me.
Right.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I have to ask, what's one of those seminal moments as a young man? Your father's busting out his record collection. He's sharing something with you. What is one of those seminal moments, the record that really shaped you?
I remember like hearing Queen and the band. And then in my dad's truck, he had a cassette of Breakfast in America. Wow. So that record for me was like super interesting. And yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. That's really cool. I like to ask that question just because I feel like it gives me a further insight into you as an artist, knowing your music, loving your music.
But then he also had a cassette of John Mellencamp that I loved the shit out of. So yeah,
I understand. I feel like all of our fathers had a John Mellencamp tape at one point.
Yeah.
How long do you feel? Or let me rephrase. How long did it take before you started recognizing your voice as your own in music?
Way too long. I remember I started playing drums first, like at 8, and then I wanted to catch up with my brothers, and so guitar was interesting to me. I think by the time I knew 3 chords, I felt like, oh, I can write a song, and I did write a song. I don't remember it, and I can't speak to the quality of it, but that impetus was always there. So,
do you feel like maybe it was that familial connection that helped you get to that point, like musically?
Absolutely. I mean, I was the youngest of 3, and it was a way for me to stay engaged with my siblings, and because they were really into it. I think my interest was genuinely in music on my own, but it made it a lot easier to have 2 sort of forebears to like,
of course,
to learn from, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I completely understand. Similar situation. I grew up learning and playing music with my siblings as well. So that's why I wanted to ask, because I know that there were definitely moments like that. There were very familial driven memories that still kind of linger to this very day.
And I really love that Lauren, my sister that was my brother, my sister, is we're still creative together, and that's a space that we get to share and go into. So
it's so special. I get it. Every time my brother and I get to create and collaborate, it's such a different experience that when I'm collaborating with my band, and it's not that either of them are better or worse. It's just this almost instant heat that's there. We just get it, you know? So I definitely understand what you're talking about. In that capacity. Yeah. One thing I will say, having been playing music as long as we both have, but specifically in your case, when you listen back to some of your earliest works, what do you hear that you maybe didn't understand initially, or is there?
I think so. It's nice. Getting older is nice because you kind of quit having as much to prove, or you finally, formulate a more solidified identity and comfort with that identity.
Absolutely.
So I think I used to listen back and cringe at stuff, but now it's all just a stepping stone in the progress of becoming the self that you are. And, music has been a way for me to sort of navigate a lot of changes in my life, whether it was, coming out of like a religious community and sort of, processing what I was thinking about while still being religious. I think when we made that first Hope Trust record, I still identified that way. And then as time went on, my sense of that has definitely changed drastically. So it's a nice way to look back at how, my personal growth has happened. So yeah.
I mean, I completely understand where you're coming from.
I got a divorce record too. So
I was going to say, I feel like there's a record for every moment in our lives, for every timeline, from every little portal or door we walk through. There is a record or a song or something deeply meaningful to us as artists that a lot of times our audience don't completely unpack until later on. Yeah. Because it's so meaningful to us as artists.
And I think I generally write fairly abstractly, lyrically. So I might know what I'm talking about specifically, but other people might not, but it still creates something that they can emotionally latch onto.
Yeah.
So,
No, I completely understand. Let me ask you this. Where do songs how are they birthed in Kelly Upshaw's world? Is it a lyric, a feeling, a moment? It just comes to you and one line writes the song?
I usually sit with an instrument. At first I started, writing primarily on guitar, and now I find like bass guitar and piano are usually my go-to. I like that harmony is sort of implied between notes on a bass guitar without thinking about chord structures so much that you can like create a melody around. So usually I'll come up with something that I'm liking musically, and there'll start to be a melody that comes out of that.
Right.
And then usually some words will come out of my mouth that are, creeping out of the subconscious.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then I, sit with that and kind of let that take shape and against the melody that I have going in my head, and words come out. And I usually don't spend too much time writing lyrics. I don't labor over it. It's like they're either coming out or they're not.
Right.
Or I'll just like leave it till another day or something.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that starting point from when you began to where you are now as an artist has changed at all, or is it pretty much
Yeah.
the same?
I think I look at it less mystically, or as if like I'm some conduit between like some great artistic ideal and the world, and it's going to come through me.
Right.
It's like a song's a very simple thing, and that's also part of its beauty. And
Mhm.
I just like to create, you know? Yeah.
I understand that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like when you're writing, and this is a question I absolutely love to ask and would equally love to be asked, but do you feel like when you're writing to discover meaning, or that you already know what you're trying to say?
I think I usually discover the meaning of a song that I've written pretty well after I've written it. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's just throwing stuff against the wall.
Sure, yeah, of
And,
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? Let's ask you.
I feel like it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I do feel like I'm something of an explorer trying to understand the voice. I have an intent, but I don't necessarily know the voice or the narrative or the character that I'm writing about. And normally revolves around myself in some capacity.
Of course. Me too. Yeah.
Of course, like
Yeah.
we have to, as artists, relate to the world we share with
Yeah.
other artists, right? It's how we all relate to art in itself. So I feel like I'm with you on that side of the coin, but I also feel like there have been times I wrote something in my 20s that meant nothing to me then, but means so much to me now.
Yeah.
Because I realized what I was trying to say.
Yeah. I have that experience also.
Like I realized that there was something that needed to come out. And at that time, I didn't understand it. But like you said, the beautiful part about aging as an artist is we really start to over-evaluate our art. And we're like, wait a minute. I see what in some odd subconscious fashion, I was writing about something I was going through and creating this very diverse character on it, or whatever it may be. But there's something truly beautiful about both sides of that coin.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
Do you feel like you try to write a certain type of song before you start writing, or do you just kind of get into writing and that's what comes out?
It always starts with the first line for me.
Yeah.
Like the first line writes the whole song.
Totally.
Because I'm such a conversational songwriter
Yeah.
that I feel like every song is I'm bearing a bit of my soul with those willing to listen.
Yeah.
And so I want to have a great conversation.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times what may start off as a spark about existence ends up becoming so much more meaningful to me, because after years of touring it, after years of performing it, or it just being out there, someone comes up to me and tells me that gave them hope, that gave them spark, that gave them fire, that gave them whatever they needed in that moment.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful part about being an explorer as a songwriter,
Yeah.
right? Is where we don't always really know the voice we're trying to convey, but if it's coming from the right place, I feel like it's super, super relevant and
Yeah.
special. But in my experience, the song writes itself in the
Totally.
first line,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
And I could go on and on. I could
Yeah.
regale you
Yeah.
for a while. I won't lie. But one thing I've always wanted to ask you, and I don't think I ever have, and we have quite a history in the Denton music community, but
Yeah.
what sparked the creation of the Hope Trust?
When I moved up to Denton to go to UNT, I started playing drums in a band called the Lonelies with Doug Burr,
Mhm.
Dave Sims, Andy Odom, and Lauren, my sister. And I think I found Doug's songwriting really inspiring in a way, and I felt like I always had the impulse to, be the songwriter. And
Mhm.
I think it took me a few years to like gain the sort of internal confidence to take that risk.
Yeah.
But I think I I don't think I really thought about it too hard either, though. It was just like a natural
Just was
conclusion
birthed.
of what I'd been doing. And so, yeah.
That's beautiful. So
Yeah.
it was sparked from the fires of the Lonelies, essentially,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, I'd already written, I'd been in other bands like in high
Mhm.
school where I was a songwriter. So I was always writing songs. But after I got fired from the Lonelies, I was like, well, what next? So I was like, I'll be the singer now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think you made the right decision.
Thanks,
Personally,
Steve.
That's-
Yeah.
every time I've been in the audience or sharing a bill with you, it's just been so powerful. And
Thank you.
I'm grateful for every
I
moment we
appreciate
shared
that.
on that capacity. I truly am. The name, the Hope Trust, that carries a weight. What does it mean to you now in the world we're living in?
I think it's one of those things that you
Mhm.
understand being older, looking back on. I don't know why I put those words together for a band name. And I'm kind of the belief that there are no good band names,
Sure, I agree.
but that one seems to work for me. I think music should be a thing. Music can be, it doesn't have to be, but a thing that, inspires some hope and
Of course, yeah.
lifts the spirit. I think all art, the art that I'm attracted to, lifts the spirit. Yeah.
Do you feel like when you started the project, you had maybe one direction, but over time, it has almost evolved into something even more sincere and genuine and honest?
Yeah, I do. I think maybe even when I had the idea for that as a band name, it was kind of tongue in cheek that I felt like my songs were so depressing. And as I've gotten older, I don't really feel glued to the idea of bumming people out. I feel
Sure.
like music, I want to lift the spirit. I want
I
to lift
agree,
my own
yeah.
spirit with the music
course,
I create.
yeah.
So yeah, kind of growing into that to where I can, bear that band name without any irony or any sort of pretense about it,
Of
Yeah.
course. No, I
Yeah.
absolutely love that. When do you feel like the Hope Trust stopped feeling like a project and felt alive? Like it really was like a living organism in your universe in every way.
I think after I quit it for a year,
Yeah. I understand.
like when I was young, I think a lot of people might identify with this experience that are sort of on similar musical trajectories. But when you're young, you're trying to like carve out a space for yourself or
Mhm.
establish an identity where
Right.
people believe you to be this thing. And I kind of found that sort of approach to it. It made me miserable after a while. Like, why do I want to spend so much time cultivating this idea about myself when genuinely it's really about creating art,
Mhm.
I remember getting like some bad reviews, got a bad review, and like I responded back to it like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
We've all done this.
Who gives
Yeah,
a shit?
yeah.
Like, that guy doesn't like you. That's okay that
Yeah.
people don't like you,
Yes. Yeah.
And there was a time when I was making music to make a living, and it was a pretty scarce living,
Yeah.
and all of the energy that it consumed wasn't giving me back what I wanted out of life. So yeah, we kind of played a last show. I don't remember what year it was, maybe 2013, somewhere
Right.
between 2013 and
Right,
2015.
yeah.
But yeah, I was like, maybe I'll just walk away from this for a little bit. And I did. I walked away from music. I didn't play any shows for a
Mhm.
year. And then I was hanging out with Andy Cox. And he's like, hey, you want to play drums in this band we're going to do? So we started this band, Mountain Air. I was like, I do, because I want to have fun again.
Yeah.
Like I want this to be fun.
Absolutely.
And I think I'm okay with this sort of not being prolific. It's like, I'm going to live my life in a way that makes me happy. And when I have it and I'm ready to go play, I'll go
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I had this conversation with another dear friend in the music community not that long ago. I feel like we've all been almost integrated with the mentality of waterfall releases and Spotify and blah, 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 all the stuff that doesn't matter in the arts,
Yeah.
right? We treat Spotify and digital music streaming like some sort of distribution. And I'll say it again, blah, 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 because I don't feel like any of that is as relevant as what we do in the moments that we're describing here. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So I don't want to get on my soapbox here necessarily.
Get on it, sister.
No, yeah. But either way, I understand completely what you're saying there and where you're coming from. One thing, I wanted to talk about is we're both Denton boys. Been in the Denton music community for quite a long time. Gosh, you've probably been in Denton even longer than I have. And
What
I've
year
been
did
there.
you move here?
2000.
Yeah, I moved here in 99.
Yeah,
So,
so
it's about the same time.
Right
yeah.
around the same time. How do you feel? I know I could say so much to this, and I know every Denton artist can. How has Denton helped shape you as an artist? And I mean, whether you meant it or not.
When we were starting out as a band, Denton and even Dallas and Fort Worth had music venues that really supported original music. I feel like that's not the case as much now, and I'm not trying to like shit talk.
No.
But people like Dan Mojica gave us a chance to open up for some cool bands, and that Dan Silverleaf sort of became a home for us. And same with Rubber Gloves. It's always been a sort of homey feeling place. And there were always so many great musicians around to sort of interact with and maybe glean something from. Mm-hmm. So it's always, and it was, relatively affordable to live here. You could be a broke ass musician.
Used to be, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, now it's,
but,
it's
about average now.
Yeah. But, I've always had, I don't know. I mean, I moved away from Denton for a while. I went and lived in New York for a while, which was a great experience for me as a young person.
Yeah.
Then I moved back, and I don't know. I'd like to think that, there is still that core community of people that care about music and can help foster younger artists. And I certainly want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Like with my recording studio and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you ever feel like there are moments in the local scene that really just made you think, oh man, like, I'm home. Like this is where I'm supposed to be. I've talked to many touring musicians over the years. And I, for one, will always say it, much like our friends in Midlake, they would say the same thing. Touring all over the world, coming back to Denton was the only place that ever felt like home.
Yeah.
So do you feel that sense of belonging there to this day, even with the shifting culture with regarding the arts community and the loss of venues and
Yeah, I mean, I do. You spend, 26 years in a place. You can't really duplicate those kinds of roots somewhere else automatically. So, yeah, Denton is a home. It would be hard for me to move away and think that I would have all of the same comforts of a home being established. So,
no, I completely understand. Like I tried time and time again, told myself I'd move, I'd go to New York, I'd go to LA, I'd do all those things. And I had my moments as well. Yeah. But quite frankly, nothing ever felt like a home creatively for me quite like Denton did,
Yeah, I don't need a lot of busyness in my life. Like I loved living in New York and that was cool. I mean, as it is now, I travel for music a lot and I'm in those cities and it's great to be there when I'm there. I've got friendships there. Yeah. But it's also nice to just come home and
be home. It's nice,
Yeah.
right? That's beautiful. Yeah, no, I get it. Well, let me ask you this, like regarding like, do you feel like you've had, and I feel like every artist has gone through growing pains in the sense where feel like they've had to let go of something to keep growing creatively. Was there a moment like that you'd care to elaborate on for you, artistically speaking, like where you felt like you had to not necessarily cut ties, but you had to let go to continue growing creatively?
Yeah, I think every record, by the time I get around to making a new record, I've kind of gone through enough pivotal shifts or accumulated enough experience of life or even become fans of different sounds that I hadn't really taken on. So I think every record we've made has had a sort of shift in sound, but also kind of maintained a through line where, the self is the through line. Like I'm me.
No, I get
every
that.
time I make a record.
Yeah.
But I can come at it from a different angle. I think attachment to, what's sort of the Buddhist mantra? Your attachment to things is the cause of suffering. So,
oh yes,
it's good to allow yourself to wear a different hat or maybe use a different pedal in your guitar chain or whatever, Yeah.
But just be okay with that.
Yeah.
Allow yourself that growth. No, I completely agree with you there. Do you feel maybe more fearless, now than when you started, or maybe just more honest?
Way more fearless, which I think translates in honesty. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
Well, what part of a musician do people rarely see, what part of being a musician do you feel people rarely see, but it kind of defines it for you.
Sitting around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I quit. It's true. It's absolutely 100% true. There's so much sitting around in music.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, I have to. I'm at the point of doing any sort of session where I bring something to engage my mind.
Yeah.
It's beyond just books now. There's weights. Like we all have this whole mentality. So I'm with you there. Do you feel like that part still sustains you?
The part of
like how the definition of being a musician that people rarely sees, that side of you.
I get to be around a lot of other musicians also, and I definitely can separate like the sort of performative self and the private self. Not that they're usually too far from each other.
Sure, yeah.
But it's just, spending time with somebody for an hour and talking is a lot more intimate sometimes than listening to somebody play for an hour, in terms of getting to know that person.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you there.
I do find, I feel like every day I kind of have to pinch myself, just feeling so lucky to get to do what I do and make a living and provide for my family. Yeah, it's absurd. It's completely absurd.
I understand.
Yeah.
No, I completely understand.
Yeah.
And you were talking about the spaces and how between records and shows and in your performative space, you do other things within the music world. So when music isn't happening in that capacity for you, what fills the well for you, if you will?
I mix a lot of shows. I tour manage and mix A Flock of Seagulls.
Wow.
And Wang Chung.
Just a couple of little known bands.
Yeah. And, that's been something that's happened in the last 8 months that I couldn't have prepared for. I had been I'd been the production manager at the Granada Theater for like about 4 years. And I think it became evident to me that I needed to move on from that. And the opportunity opened up for me to go tour with those two legendary bands, and it's been pretty amazing.
I'm so happy for you, brother.
Thanks, man.
That's really amazing. That's so cool. That's why I felt like we had to talk about that briefly.
Y'all were riffing on some Rob Schneider earlier.
Yeah.
He's sort of pivotal to my shift in employment.
Oh my gosh, please regale us.
Well,
if you'd like.
I'm happy to. Yeah, I actually haven't told this story publicly, and maybe this will be the only time that I do it. But Rob Schneider had come to the theater that I was working at, and he performed, and I found him to be, misogynistic, transphobic, homophobic, racist, and all of the things that I don't find to be great human qualities. And so he's doing the show. Have you ever been in an argument with somebody where they won't let you leave the room and you start to feel claustrophobic?
Yes.
Yeah, I was starting to feel that way.
Oh my gosh.
And so I got Jimmy Smith, he my dear friend Jimmy Smith,
Jimmy,
the legendary Jimmy Smith.
Jimmy,
I had hired him to do monitors at Granada, which he did a great job of, and he's a brilliant engineer and person.
Yes.
But I got him to come take over front of house so I could go outside and have a cigarette and maybe collect myself from the anger I was feeling. And I ran into one of my coworkers out there who is trans, and she had gotten herself cut from her shift so she didn't have to endure the show anymore. So I go back to running front of house after I'd had a smoke and tried to collect myself. And some lady's phone goes off in the theater, and it totally disrupts the room, and the room just falls silent. And Rob Schneider goes, "What the fuck was that?" And I heard it at the same time everybody else did, but it came out of my mouth. I yelled, "Your conscience." So,
well, I applaud you, my friend.
Yeah. So I put one shoe in it, and after the show ended, I kind of asked him, what do you find so threatening with transgender people? And he gave me some softball answer, and I encouraged him to use his skill set to elevate humanity, not punch it. So yeah, and it got me fired. So
I don't like that at all.
Couldn't have worked out better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the universe had your
Yeah,
back for sure.
totally.
It sounds like you're in a much better place now.
I
and
couldn't have fucked my life up in a better way. So
Isn't that how it goes sometimes?
I'm so grateful.
I'm with you. Yeah. Well, moving forward just a little bit, because I'm so excited to ask you this question, because we briefly touched on it outside. And what excites you the most about the future of the band right now? I heard rumblings there might be a record out there.
There is a new record. I'm mixing it. I've been mixing it this last week, and hopefully I'll have it all mixed up maybe by March. We've taken painfully long to get it done and out, but that's mostly been just because my time is so consumed with all of my other duties.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a new record, and it's a monumental feat to mix your own record. Sometimes I've had better success on previous records where I didn't like think about it, but I think with all the COVID and all the stuff coming out, it's been a little bit harder to get through. So
I feel like we're also, like you said, as we get older, and I certainly feel this myself as I get older, I've caught myself being okay with a pause,
totally,
artistically speaking. I'm like, I'm not going to just play the game because everyone plays the Spotify game, and we're putting out records twice a year and singles quarterly. And it's like, hold on. I want people to consume, appreciate, enjoy, and moreover, absorb my art. It's not about a flash bang in the pan and one and done. And this was just distribution and it's available on your phone. It's like, I've gotten to such a point to where I've pulled most of my art away from that.
Yeah.
Because I really do want it to be an experience shared, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so it's,
I've stopped caring about those things a lot. So
completely stopped caring about those things. I feel like it just comes back to the beauty of the pause, catch our breath, consult our dear friend Buddha, as you were saying. And I love that you said that. I have a few more questions for you, Kelly, but it's just been, I've had the best time with you today.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you again for being
for
here. Let me ask you this. How long, again, you said you've been playing music in the Hope Trust since, is that
2004?
2004.
So our band is going to be 22 in October.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Your band can drink.
Yes.
It's pretty cool when that happens,
it's true.
isn't it? Yeah, I understand.
My band can drink.
Yeah,
actually.
my band can drink too.
Yeah.
We shouldn't, but we can. All that being said, what do you feel like keeps you making music when no one's watching? What does hope honestly mean to you today within the context of the music you're sharing if you feel like no one's watching?
Most of what happens musically is when nobody's watching, whether it's writing or recording or even the hanging out and stuff with a band. Most of that is just the experience that I get to enjoy. And the performance is the experience that other people get to enjoy.
Of course, yeah.
So I think I just love doing anything. I like having a purpose, whether it's, I don't know, cooking a meal or just doing something that engages the brain.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and when it comes to live music in that capacity, I love the question of what keeps you making music when you feel no one's watching. Because the reality is I would do it for my nephews and nieces all day long if that's just what they wanted. Or you could say, Maddie, I really want to hear this song, and I'd play it for you. It's never been ever about the audience or the experience necessarily shared. It's me bearing a little bit of my soul and hoping there might be a moment where someone's like, I get that.
Yeah.
And that's what's beautiful about it.
It is cool. My nephew, Luke, he's 16 years old, but he's just figured out, he's been listening to our band a lot.
Aw, I love that. Isn't that fun when that happens? Yeah, it's
like
so
it kind of
cool.
matters more to me that my nephew likes the band and
I
thinks
agree.
we're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one of the highlights of my recent life was my little 10-year-old nephew walked into his drum lesson in Fort Worth, Texas, and his mother went on to tell me that he asked to learn a Matthew and the Arrogant Sea song, and I was like, oh my God,
That's awesome.
I can quit.
Yeah.
I can just
You've
quit.
done it now.
I've made it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's cooler to me than any award you could get. But I do have one final question for you, brother. And and it's one that I have to ask because it's so super important to both of us. What are some of your favorite local bands? And they don't have to be necessarily inactive. It can be bands from really any era of DDFW, Texas music community, or
Yeah.
even from the New York community, if you'd rather touch on that.
You know, New York had a lot going on all the time, but I think in terms of like a really sort of solidified collective community, I don't think I've experienced that there like I have in Denton.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, in the Lonelies, we played a lot of shows with Slobberbone. They're a great band that was kind of fun to grow up around.
Yeah, of course.
I love Centromatic. I love Will Johnson, South San Gabriel.
Same.
You know, Midlake is one of those bands. My brother was in that band for a while, and we've had, you know, a really long relationship with them, and they're good friends, and I like them a lot. I like your band. It was great to see you play the other night.
Oh,
yeah,
thanks, man. I appreciate that very much.
But oh man, there was one band I saw forever ago, and I lost the CD I had of them, but they were called Beauregard.
Oh,
do you remember that band?
Yes, I love them.
I loved that record that I had, and I don't know who's in that band. I remember talking to the guy once, but I don't like even remember his face.
Yeah.
And like, I like that band.
I think I have one of their CDRs or
yeah,
something. You know,
maybe
like,
you could burn me one.
I can do that.
Yeah,
I
sweet.
can absolutely do that. Brother, thank you again for being here with us today. Where can our viewers find the Hope Trust music?
It's on all of the streaming platforms, Apple, Spotify, blah, blah, blah.
All that fun stuff.
Yeah. I'll try to be better about, you know, keeping stuff up to date, but I can't promise anything. So, yeah.
I understand.
A record will come out when it comes out. We'll play some shows.
The best ones always do.
Yeah.
Kelly, it's been an honor, my friend.
Thank you,
again
man.
for being here with us today.
Thank you.
You're swimming in a sea. You know it has no thought of you. It doesn't even know you're there. And you keep looking at me as if there's anything that I could do. And I'm looking at you, and now it doesn't feel so bad. I think we're gonna be alright. Time is not our friend. Maybe this is aging out, getting closer to the end. I wouldn't trade my years for youth, thinking that I could do any different than I've done. At you, and now it doesn't feel so bad. I think we're gonna be alright. I think we're gonna be alright. doesn't feel so bad. I think we're gonna be alright. 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 I think we're gonna be alright.
Thanks for watching this episode of Highland Soundtracks. If you believe in what we're doing, showcasing local and national artists, please subscribe to our channel and help keep the music alive.